doesn't words are so icy. Oh, but she burns rum on a fire, hot and fast and heavy as she can be. I walk my days on a wire.
G'day guys, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitars Road to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Cherry Wine by Hozier, which is an amazing fingerpicking song. Now if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to improve on your guitar, then check out GZ2H Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course, and it features a lot of stuff about fingerpicking as well. For the basics of this song, you'll need your guitar in standard tuning, and you will need a capo on the 6th fret of your guitar. Let's jump into the lesson. Alright, so let's start with some fingerpicking rules. Now, in general, your thumb will take care of the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings, and your index, middle, and ring finger will take care of the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings respectively. There will be times in this song, however, where your index and middle finger will need to go up to the 3rd and 4th strings, and sometimes even your index will need to come up to the 5th string. But in general, we should stick to those basic fingerpicking rules. Alright, let's start with our intro, and we have 5 lines of tab here. We're going to start based around a G chord, and we're only going to need to push down our middle and ring finger on the 3rd frets of the 6th and 2nd string. For our first line of tab, it's really simple. We're just going to be plucking our bass note, which is the 6th string. Now this song is in 3/4 timing, so each bar has 3 beats. So we go 1, 2, 3 for 1 bar. And this is going to be a common theme throughout most of the song, where we're always going to be hitting a bass note on the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So that's it for the first line of tab. For the second line of tab, we're going to start in this position again. We're going to start with the bass note, and then we have a run of 4 notes here. So we're going to go bass note, 1st string, bass note, and 2nd string. So that bar, 1, 2, 3. For our second bar, we'll pinch the 6th and 1st strings together. And then you'll take your ring finger down to the 3rd fret of the 1st string. We're going to pinch the 6th, 1st, and 2nd strings together. And then with your pinky finger, come up to the 5th fret of the 1st string, and we're going to do that same pinch. So 3 pinches here for the second bar. So 1, 2, 3. In the first 2 bars. For our third bar, you're going to take your index finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And we're going to be pinching the 6th, 4th, and 3rd strings together. So this is one instance where your index and middle finger will come up 1 string. We're going to pinch them and quickly hammer on with your pinky finger onto the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Like that. And then back to the bass note on the 2 beat. And on the 3 beat, we're going to do that same pinch, but you're going to do a quick pull off from your pinky finger to your index finger to the open string. So it's going to be a quick pull off all on the G string, but all the while you're going to do that pinch on the 6th, 4th, and 3rd string. So that bar. For the 4th bar, we're going to pinch those same 3 strings again, but we're not pushing anything down other than the bass note. And then we're going to pinch the 6th and 4th strings together, just by themselves, and you're going to hammer on your index finger onto the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then we're going to pinch the 6th and 3rd strings together, but then you're going to hammer on and pull off with your index finger on the 2nd fret here. So the 3rd bar, and then total for the second line of tab. Notice how that thumb is continuously keeping the beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And everything else is sort of being played around it. Now the third line of tab is very similar to the second line of tab. There's a few minor differences. For our first pluck, we're going to be pinching the 6th, open 3rd, and open 4th strings together. So that's one difference. And the other difference is the final pluck. Instead of doing the pinch on the 6th and 3rd and hammering on and pulling off, we're just going to be hammering on like that. So the 3rd line of tab. For our 4th line of tab, we're then going to change chords. So we're going to go to a C chord now, and you're going to pinch the 5th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. But we're going to quickly hammer on our index finger into place. So it sounds like this. And then we have bass note, and then lift our index finger, open 2nd string, and back to bass note. Like that. And then we're going to pinch the 5th and 4th strings together, but do another hammer on the 4th string. So open to the 2nd fret. And then for our 3rd bar, we're going to be pinching the 5th and 3rd strings and doing the hammer on with our middle finger. Bass note, open 2nd string, and back to bass note. For the 4th bar, we're going to start with the hammer on similar to the 2nd bar. Bass note, 3rd string, bass note, and then open 4th string. So, and the 4th line in total. Then we get to our 5th line of tab, and the 1st bar is identical to the 1st bar in the 3rd line of tab. So for the 2nd bar, we're going to lift our ring finger. We have a 5 pluck run here. So pinch the 6th and 2nd, and then have your index finger here ready on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Back to bass note, lift your index finger, hit that open 3rd string, and then we're going to pinch the 6th and 4th strings together and hammer your index finger onto the 2nd fret. So 5 plucks here. And one more time. And then for the 3rd bar, we're going to pinch the 6th and 3rd strings, but you're going to do a hammer on pull off here. Bass note, and then 4th string and bass note. For the final bar, we'll pinch the 6th, 4th, and 3rd strings, bass note, 4th and 3rd, and back to bass note. So in total, that line is probably the trickiest in terms of rhythm, but if you just keep practicing it with the metronome, you should get it. So this is the 4th line of tab. And in total, the intro sounds like this. So notice how on every single click, my thumb was always playing a bass note. That's something that you should keep in mind when you're playing this song. Next, we move on to the verse, and there's just 2 lines of tab here. So we're going to start with our G chord, and we're going to pinch the 6th and 2nd strings together. You're going to have your index finger here ready on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. We're going to go bass note, 3rd string, and back to bass note. So the 1st bar. Then for the 2nd bar, your pinky finger will come onto the 4th fret of the 3rd string. We're going to pinch the 6th and 3rd strings together. Then we have 3 plucks, the bass note. You can lift your pinky finger and hit the 2nd and 3rd strings and back to bass note. So the 2nd bar. And then the 3rd and 4th bars are identical. We're going to have a pinch on the 6th and 3rd strings with your index on the 2nd fret. Then use your pinky to go to the 4th fret of the 3rd string, another pinch there, and then a final pinch on the 6th and 2nd strings with your ring finger there on the 3rd fret. And that's all on beat, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And in total for the first line of tab. For the second line of tab, we'll then go to an E minor chord like this. We're going to take our 3 fingers up here to the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. You're going to pinch the 6th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings together. And then bass note, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd together, and back to bass note. Then we're going to go to a C/G chord. So keep your middle finger here and pivot around that to get to our C/G. So it's a C chord with an extra G bass note. In this position, we'll do the exact same picking pattern we did in the previous chord. And then we'll end by just keeping your ring finger here. And we're going to pinch the 6th, 4th, and 3rd strings. So lift everything else. So this is based around a G. Bass note, and then pluck the 3rd and 4th strings with your index and middle. And then you'll hammer on with your middle finger onto the 2nd fret of the 4th string. But at the same time, when you hammer on, you're going to need to hit that bass note again. So that might be a little bit tricky, but just keep practicing it. So pluck, and at the same time that you hammer on, you're going to hit the bass note. Like that. So that bar. And then for the final bar, we're going to pinch the 6th and 3rd strings and hammer on and pull off to the 2nd fret with our middle finger. Bass note, 3rd and 4th, and back to bass note. So the second line of tab. And that's it for the verse. So at a slower speed with the metronome. And you just repeat those 2 lines twice in the verse. Next we get to a pre-chorus, and this is pretty easy. There's 2 lines of tab. We're going to start with our C/G chord, and we're just going to strum this down with the side of your index finger nail. So by strumming on the side of your index finger, you can get that crisp sound. You can use your thumb as well, but I find that the side of your index fingernail gives a really good crisp sound. For our second bar, we're going to do another strum here and then go to our E minor chord and pinch the 6th, 4th, and 3rd strings and then the 5th string by itself. And that's all on beats as well. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to repeat those 2 bars. And then the second line of tab, we have the C/G strummed for 1 bar again. And then for our next, we go to our C shape, but we only need to push down the index finger and the ring finger here. So pinch those 2 strings, the 5th and the 2nd, and then step down to your middle finger here on the 5th string, and then lift it, and then pinch the same strings, and then your middle finger will come on the 2nd fret of the 6th string, pinch those 2 strings, and then hit the open 4th string, and that will lead us into our chorus. So that final bar, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And in total for the pre-chorus. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we get to our chorus. Now the chorus we've pretty much already learned. The chorus is very similar to the last 4 lines of the intro. It's actually simplified from the intro. So if you already learned the intro, the chorus is going to be simple for you. So we're going to start with our G shape, but we're actually going to start by pinching the 6th and open 2nd string. Like that. And then from that point, everything's the same as the second line of the intro until the final bar, where we're going to just pinch the 6th, 4th and 3rd strings, the bass note, 4th and 3rd and bass note. But everything else we've already learnt. So the first line of tab, the second line of tab in this chorus is identical to the third line in the intro, except for that final bar, where we're going to just do what we did in the first line of tab. So the second line of tab in this chorus, and then for the third line of tab here, we go to a C, and we're doing something similar to the C in the intro, but we're no longer doing any of the hammer-ons. So everything's pretty much the same except no hammer-ons here. So start with the C position, 3rd and 2nd strings, bass note, open 2nd string, bass note. Second bar, it's 5th and 4th strings, bass note, open 3rd, bass note. And then move your middle finger down 1 string, pinch the 5th and 3rd, bass note, open 2nd, bass note. Middle finger comes back down to the original position, pinch the 5th and 4th strings, bass note, 3rd, bass note. So the third line of tab. So as you can see, a much more simplified version of the C, less hammer-ons there than the intro. And the final line of the chorus is identical to the final line of the intro, which sounds like this. So the chorus in total sounds like this with a metronome and at a slow speed. Next we have the bridge, which is 4 lines of tab. We're going to start with an A minor 7 chord shape. So it's the same as a C, except no ring finger. We're going to start by pinching the 5th and 2nd strings, but you're going to hammer on your index finger into place, like that. Then we have a 4-note run after this, so 4th, 3rd, 1st, and then 4th. For the second bar, we're going to do something similar, except we're going to start by pinching the 4th and 2nd strings and sliding up 2 frets. And then the same 4-note run. And then for the third bar, we're going to do the exact same thing, but sliding down. And then for the final bar, we're going to pinch the 4th and 2nd strings, slide up, and then pinch those 2 strings again, slide down, and then pull off. So, like that, and then end with the open 4th and open 2nd string. So the first line of tab. We then go to our G position. The first bar is bass note, 1st, bass note, 2nd. So, and then for the second bar, we're going to do a whole bunch of pinches and hammer-ons. So this first pinch is the 6th and 2nd string, but you're going to hammer on with your ring finger. So it's a hammer-on pull-off, quickly. And then our next hammer-on pull-off is going to be on the 3rd string on the 2nd fret with our index finger. And then our next one is going to be on the 4th string with your index finger as well. So that bar. For the third bar, we're going to pinch the 6th and 3rd strings. So you're going to need to take your index finger up to the 5th string here. Pinch that and hammer on your index finger to the 5th string. bass note, and then we're going to pluck the open 4th string and hammer on to the 2nd fret. But as you hammer on, you're going to hit the bass note at the same time, like that. It's similar to what we had in the verse, where you hammer on and hit the bass note at the same time. And then we're going to hit the open 3rd string there. So the 3rd bar, and then the final bar, we're going to pinch the 6th, 3rd and 4th strings and hammer on your index finger to the 3rd string. Hit the bass note, lift your index finger and hit the 4th and 3rd and back to bass note. So the second line in total. The 3rd line of tab is identical to the 1st line of tab, so nothing new to learn there. For the 4th line of tab, we're going to be based around an E minor shape, but you just really need to put your ring finger here on the 4th fret of the 4th string. We're going to hit the open 6th, the 4th, open 3rd, open 1st, and back to 4th string. So for the second bar, we'll pinch the open 6th, 3rd, and 2nd, the open 3rd and 2nd, and then go to a D/F sharp, pinch the 6th, 4th, and 3rd. Then go our G chord, pinch the same strings, and then pluck 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then end this bridge with the bass note. So that final line tab. So the bridge, along with the metronome at a slower speed, sounds like this. Next we move on to the soft verse. Now it's very similar to the original verse, just really simplified, so less notes here. So we're going to start with the G, we're going to pinch the 6th and 2nd strings, then the 2nd fret of the 3rd, then the 4th fret of the 3rd, and then the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then we're going to repeat those 3 notes another 2 times. So the first line of tab. Then we go to our E minor, C/G, and our G, and hold it out for 2 bars. That's it for the soft verse. Then we go into another verse, and then that takes us to another pre-chorus and our final chorus. So all those parts we've already learnt. The final thing to learn is the outro. Now this is very similar to the last 4 lines of the intro. We just have a few variations here. So everything in the first 3 lines of tab here is identical to what we had in the intro, except for the final bar of this 3rd line of tab. So we're based around that C shape here. So this is where things are going to change. So keep your ring finger there. Your pinky finger is going to go on the 4th fret of the 3rd string and have your index finger here ready on the 2nd string as well. So you're going to pinch the 5th and 3rd strings here, but pull off your pinky and then pull off your index to the open string. So it's a quick series of pull-offs. And then we're going to pinch the 5th and 4th strings and hammer your middle finger into place to the C. And then we're going to pinch the 5th and 4th strings and hammer your middle finger on and off, like that. So that final bar is a little tricky, but all together. And then we get to the final line of tab, which differs to the intro as well. So we're going to go to our G chord shape, pinch the 6th, 4th, and 3rd strings, and then end with this nice little run. So 1st string, second string, open third, second fret, open third, and then hit the fourth string and hammer on with your index finger, open third, and then end with the G chord. So the final line of tab. And in total, the outro sounds like this. And that's it for all the parts of this song. Now remember, it's really important that you try to practice this along with the metronome in 3/4 timing. Start as slow as you can and then gradually work your way up. It's really important to note that in pretty much the whole song, your thumb is constantly keeping time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and everything else is happening around that. If your thumb isn't hitting a note on a beat, then something must be wrong. The only exception to this is in the bridge, the pre-chorus, and the soft verse, but everywhere else, your thumb constantly keeps time. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song and I'll have the vocal track on top for some context. Big thanks to my friend Eric for lending his awesome vocals to this playthrough. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice play along to and see how you go.
Tells me I'm hers and she's mine. Open hand, no closed fist, we'll be fine. Love is sweet and sweet as cherry wine. Calls of guilty thrown in me all while she stays. The sheets of some other thrown at me so powerfully, just like she throws with the arm of her brother. But I want it, it's a crime. She's not around most of the time. Way she shows me I'm hers and she's mine. Open hand, no closed fist, we'll be fine. The blood is red and sweet as cherry wine. Fight and fury is fiery, oh, but she loves like sleep to the freezing. Sweet and bright and merciful, I'm all the worst in the tide of her breathing. And it's worth it. have this some of the time. The way she shows me I'm hers and she's mine. Open hand or closed fist would be fine. The blood is red and sweet as cherry wine.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to head over to guitar0tohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to improve on your fingerpicking, then check out Guitar0 Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. It'd mean the world if you could hit that like button, hit subscribe, and click the little notification bell as well so that you don't miss out my updates. Please leave your thoughts, comments, questions, or requests down below, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar0 to Hero. Cheers.